Tapering could happen as early as January or even December. That's the news markets have been responding to today, but what do the experts think? Bert Wolfe of Oxford Economics is on the phone now to give us the lowdown. Bert, some did note with surprise the lack of reference to the US government shutdown during yesterday's FOMC announcement. With expectations for tapering tied to housing and labour markets, how would you respond to comments that the Fed are working with incomplete data as a result of the impasse?
I think that the Fed always works with incomplete data. They practice an art of decision-making under uncertainty. I think that there might be two reasons why the shutdown was not mentioned specifically, and that these reasons might be, first, that the particular shutdown may be one in a sequence. This particular one was transient. The problem would be if this episode were repeated over and over. The particular situation, the particular transient shutdown, had a minor impact on the economy. It probably took a few tenths off growth, but the pay of federal workers has been guaranteed by the Congress, and so that is not a full loss in terms of expenditure, and we might see a little bump perhaps in November offsetting the dip in October. So that's one point. The second point is that the shutdown was contentious in a partisan political sense, and in order to protect the independence of the Fed, they may wish not to discuss this, but to look forward in terms toward a, for example, grand bargain or some kind of agreement in the Congress that would restore the viability or the long-term health of the fiscal budget. And so that those two considerations seems to me to partially, at least, explain why this wasn't mentioned.
Assuming then that Janet Yellen is confirmed by the Senate, her first meeting as chairman will be in March. How does this line up with expectations that tapering could commence that month?
I think that Janet Yellen does not represent a significant change from the decision-making process under Chairman Bernanke. So I would suspect that given the recent developments, she will look, along with the other members of the FOMC, they will all look at the available information and the policy changes that are underway, and it's likely that the tapering will not begin as early as March, given the current information, but will probably take place at some point or begin some point during 2014. I think that's in line with most people's expectations. March may be a little early.
The stock market retreated from all-time highs Wednesday following the announcement, while the US dollar has held gains in today's trading. Is market response supportive of the announcement, do you think?
I think the market was not surprised. The investors were not surprised by the FOMC decision. I think that the dip was probably profit-taking. There's an old adage that you buy the announcement and sell the event, or sell the actual development. I think this may be exactly what's happened here. I think the market would be terribly disturbed if there was a premature announcement of tapering, and I think they would be terribly disturbed if they thought no tapering would ever take place. So I think this is in line, and that this was a technical adjustment.
Lastly then, Bert, what in your view will be the next big event the financial community will be watching out for?
I think the earthquake event will be either some progress toward resolution of the fiscal impasse in December, or the lack thereof. I think that this is a terribly important time in terms of this decision-making process. It points for the future in the medium term, and that if our political process is adequate to, or is able to make some kind of a decision, that's even more important than what kind of a decision it might actually be. I think we could adapt to some kind of a decision, but the absence or the impasse is what's terribly disturbing and destructive.
Bert, many thanks. To catch up on which items are shaping your trades today, click back to Dukascopy TV for more exclusive interviews. Goodbye for now.